you seem to be somebody who really appreciates growth, and that's why we figured, okay, this topic is all about growth. And I like to always say, it's a expression that my grandfather used to tell us, that life is a treadmill. If you're not walking forward, you're falling on your face. And I think you share something about that, and I would love just to hear one quick sort of thought about that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Yermi, and what your grandfather believes. And I think it's easy, we live in this instant gratification world and we live in this social media world, which, I love LinkedIn, and trust me, social media, it's a blessing. It can also be a curse because, we see so much success out there. And you see, I closed this building, or I closed this, or I took down this property. And it's so easy to think that, wow, he or she out there is crushing it. They've never made a mistake. They've never had to
Right.
grow. But I mean, I can't tell you that, with my personal story, it couldn't be further from the absolute truth. I have never been naturally good at anything in my life. I don't care what it is. Like I'm being serious.
Yeah.
I tell my wife all the time, like when I'm starting something new, hey, the first 90 days of this, I'm just gonna be failing. So just get ready. But it's those people, Yermi, I think, who are willing to push through that failure, see it as an opportunity to grow, and use it as leverage to go on to the next
Mm.
opportunity, that are the ones who really truly find success. Because I think it's easy to get down on yourself in this world. Like I said, you're going on social media every day and you're like, man, oh man, I'm not getting after it like so and so is out there who just closed another, property. But even that person who's closing those properties, month after month, that he or she definitely went through a time in their career where they failed and had to grow from it,
Mm.
and taking every opportunity as an opportunity to get better. So that's kind of like my, 2 cents on it. But I just love talking about growth. Sorry.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
There's nothing to apologize for even. I mean, it's on that the note of social media and how we compare ourselves. One of my mentors once said it like Instagram is like this, right? Everybody looks at Instagram and they're following the 5 people, right? They're following the guy who's constantly in the gym. They're following the guy who's a stay-at-home dad. They're following the guy, and I'm speaking from a man's perspective. They're following the guy who is an investor, and then they're following the guy who's successful. They're following these 5 different types of people who are successful individually or they're portraying success in this
Mm.
one category. And now all of a sudden we have to be like, I have to be that successful in the gym. I have to be that successful in investment. When in reality, the guy who's in the gym all day is probably not working a 9 to 5 job, or is not work,
Yeah.
and we take all of this and we force ourselves to try and be like that. And then we burn ourselves out because it's not possible to do that. So, talking about Instagram, the social media made me think of that. It's interesting kind of to loop back a little bit, talking about exceptionally irresistible, which is the premise of this whole show. And as Jeremy and I were talking about previously, the growth is, and we said the growth is at the core of who we are. And if we're not growing, then, we're not doing. Today I posted on the way to taking my kids to school. We were listening to Frozen 2, much to my chagrin. But there's a line in there. It's some things never change, like the whatever. Some things stay the same. And here I am pondering at 7:30 in the morning, half asleep. What is the difference between some things never change and some things stay the same? And in reality, I couldn't come up with anything other than the fact that in both cases, well, you're not growing, and we as individuals need to grow. But on the topic of exceptionally irresistible, the way we define it is somebody who sees what is the norm for myself as an individual, but also for my industry, let's say. And then how can I do a little bit more? And then irresistible is that idea of being irresistible, attracting people to you because of who you are. When you were talking, going through your story, you said, you're talking about this, the renting out of bedrooms for college students. What I got from that was you saw a need that needed to be filled. First of all, we need rooms, but not only do we need rooms, we need a normal living experience. And you filled that need. And I think that's the core of growth is, what is the need that we need in ourselves that we need to fill? And then how do we fill that? And that's where growth comes from. It's identifying kind of those gaps that need to be filled in our life. But then also, again, irresistible is about what we're doing for others. So how do I fill the needs, fill the gaps for other people as well? And then the other thing that you said, which really got me, was like you had no experience in real estate. You just, again, you saw that need, you figured it out, you found a way of getting the money, the funding together, and then you just went and did it. And now here you are, you're successful at it, which is incredible. So I wanted to bring those things out just because those were things I noticed, and I wanted to share that again.
Yeah, I completely agree. And even starting back then, again, it was terrifying. You know, we had never, me and my dad had never owned a rental property or anything like that. I think the only piece of real estate he had ever owned was his personal home. And obviously, I'm just a 20-year-old college kid at that point. I'd never owned a personal home or anything. And yeah, it was terrifying. And there was so many mistakes, like even throughout the years that we've made. But it's like, you know, I can't tell you, it's the people who are willing to accept those mistakes and grow from those mistakes, which is what I think really creates an irresistible person. You know, someone who's willing to be coached, someone who's willing to be mentored, criticized. You know, there's so many people out there, I think, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about this too, who don't want to, you know, be criticized, or, you know, it's everyone's fault except theirs. You know, when we talk about being a leader and a leader of a team. And, you know, if you want to be that, you know, that entrepreneur, that business owner that's irresistible and who's willing to grow, you know, I would tell you that, like, you know, the buck stops with you. Like, you are responsible for everything the team does or fails to do. Which, you know, I got that experience obviously in the military, but I've also gotten that experience, you know, with real estate over the years as well. So just to the points that you're making, Baruch.